Welcome to Memorials of the Forgotten, where each week we tell the story of one victim of a serial killer, their life, their story, while ignoring the monster that took them away. Roberta Kathleen Parks, who we will be referring to hereafter as Kathy, as that is the name she appears to have preferred, was a young woman whose life deserves to be remembered for who she was, not what was done to her. Kathy was the middle of three daughters, born on February 27, 1954, to her father, Charles Parks, and her mother, Kathleen Parks. In the interest of openness and accuracy, it should be noted that primary sources list her mother only as Mrs. Parks, and that the name Kathleen appears only in secondary sources. Kathy grew up with two sisters, Sharon, her older sister, and Susan, her younger sister. From the many times her family is described as playing an active role in the search for her, even as her father was still recovering from a recent heart attack, it is clear that they loved her very much. At the time of her disappearance, Kathy was attending Oregon State University and living on campus in Sackett Hall. Records confirm her enrollment, though aside from a class related to food, we were unable to locate documentation identifying a specific course of study. That absence of detail does not suggest a lack of direction, only the limits of what survives in records decades after the fact. What is clear is that Kathy was present, engaged, and actively participating in the world around her. Outside the classroom, Kathy explored interests that reflected curiosity and independence. She was taking lessons in both belly dancing and scuba diving. Activities pursued not as career paths, but simply as personal interests. Scuba diving in particular appears to have been something she was drawn to with genuine enthusiasm. That interest may have been influenced by her fiancé, with whom she was in a long-distance relationship. He worked professionally as a scuba diver along the Gulf Coast out of Louisiana. Even so, the choice to try something new, to explore, to learn, to participate, remained distinctly her own. Kathy was in a long-distance relationship with someone who clearly cared deeply about her. When she went missing, he did not remain far away or detached. He traveled across the country to Oregon to help search for her, an action that speaks not in speculation but in commitment. Distance did not diminish concern, and when Kathy disappeared, the people who loved her showed up and did what they could. Before we get to the next part of Kathy's story, I want to pause for a moment. What follows does not define who Kathy was, but it does involve a topic that some people may find uncomfortable. It deals with depression and self-harm. Kathy was going through a difficult period in her life, as many young adults do. She had been struggling with depression, and psychiatrists who were treating her documented suicidal ideation. The important thing to understand is that she was seeking help and actively working through those struggles. Anyone who has ever lived with depression, myself included, knows how much strength and determination that takes. Many people never find the courage to ask for help at all. We will never know how Kathy might have continued to navigate those struggles, how treatment may have helped her, or how her life may have changed with time, support, and growth. She was not given the opportunity to find her way forward. That chance was taken from her by the actions of a monster. At this point, I want to take a brief moment to encourage anyone watching who may also be struggling with depression to have the same courage that Kathy showed and to please seek help of your own. You are not weak for needing support, and you do not have to face it alone. Kathy was reported missing on May 6, 1974. Her remains were discovered on March 3, 1975, but were not positively identified until March 7th. For 10 months and 1 day, her family and friends lived the type of nightmare most people cannot imagine. Because of the actions of a monster, the people she loved, and the people who loved her in return, spent nearly a year in uncertainty. Not knowing what had happened to her, holding out hope that she was okay, while dreading the horrifying truth they would eventually receive. Roberta Kathleen Parks was more than a case file, more than a disappearance, and more than the way her life ended. She was a daughter, a sister, a student, and a young woman with interests, relationships, and a future that was never allowed to unfold. Please take a moment every now and then to remember her name and to remember her for who she was, not what was done to her. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.